Hello. Welcome back to Your Soul Revolution. We have another short and sweet episode today. Well, you know me. Sometimes I talk and I'm like, it's going to be 10 minutes and like 25 minutes later. But today I had planned to talk about simplicity, keeping things simple in life, especially when the last couple weeks we talked about like when life is hard, when there's a lot going on, when we're like have a lot of emotions coming up. And I always say like the best way to start getting happier or finding more success or coming back to yourself is to start subtracting. And so I want to talk about just keeping things simple. And there's another kind of thread that came through as I was starting to plan and think about what I was going to say today. And so we're just going to see where it goes. Um, but I think I was looking for like simplicity quotes on Pinterest, getting in the vibe and seeing if anything sparked anything. And um, there was a quote that was just like, life is really simple, but we insist on making it complicated. And I think this is so true. The idea for this episode came to me because in the last couple weeks, as you guys know, I've had a bit of I feel like I'm going through a rebirth. So there's been some crunchy times, some uncomfortable times, and I've just been sitting in a lot of things that have been coming up for me, trying to figure out the guidance, the wisdom that's there, and my path forward. And like all the woo stuff, all the spirituality stuff, like energy clearing, human design, gene keys, astrology, like I could spend all day just like learning more about these things, diving deep into all the things. But I was reading the Gene Keys book the other day and it just like came to me um that like we need to just embody more of the simple things. And our next answer isn't going to come from like more complexity or like learning more or learning the next thing. And I'm always the first to say, especially in human design, like if you just follow your strategy and authority, like you literally don't need to know anything else. That will guide you in life. It will let you follow like how your energy is supposed to flow. It will let you follow how you know if decisions are right for you, and it will let you follow acting on those decisions and moving forward. And um, yeah, like leading you to the next right step for you and telling you what is right for you, right? So we don't need to like learn the next thing. Now, don't get me wrong, I will continue. I am a learner. Like, I feel like being the student is the mindset that I approach life with because I assume I know nothing. I assume there's more to learn. I assume I can learn something from an interaction, a relationship, other people, other things. So I'll continue to be the student for the rest of my life, especially around everything that I love. And so I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is, sometimes we think when something isn't going right or something isn't happening as quickly as we thought it would, or we ended up somewhere we didn't plan, we look for advice or things externally or the next thing we need to learn to get out of where we are. And sometimes, like I keep saying, keeps coming up, like sitting where you are is where the answers are. Sitting in the discomfort is where the next step is going to come from. And it's never going to come from anywhere outside of you, anyways. Sometimes we can get inspiration from other things. Sometimes we can get, again, like seeing that things are possible from what other people are doing. But our own guidance is always going to be internal. And so, how can we keep things simple over adding more complexity, over adding more details? And the thread that kind of came off this for me was that the thing that allows me to keep my life simple is really knowing myself on a deep level, really trusting myself, really trusting the universe. And that all comes again by taking the time to sit and not like just responding by default to life or saying yes when we want to say no or forcing ourselves to hustle when we feel like we need to slow down, we feel like we need to rest. Like knowing ourselves is the key to spiritual growth, is the key to abundance, success, happiness, satisfaction, all of the things that are meant for us in life come through knowing ourselves, through following our own path. And like the thing that's hard with social media, especially, is life is so nuanced. And there is this beautiful duality to everything. Like everyone exists in their own reality. If you talk to someone else, like you will see they live in a different world. And the things that you surround yourself with, the people you surround yourself with, again, like your diet isn't only what you eat, it's what you listen to, it's who you surround yourself with. Like that will change your life. And so, how can you know that you're the only one that can give you the answers? You're the only one that can give you the guidance. You're the only one that knows inside if something feels right for you. And that's how to keep things simple in life. That's how to keep things, again, we all have to make priorities. We all have to know our priorities. We all have to decide, like, what does a dream life look like to me, right? And what are the top 5 things, and then do those, follow those, let those be your priorities. Like if it doesn't align with those, start saying no more. If like someone doesn't support you or align with like who you're trying to be or allow you to be more of yourself, then like maybe they're not the right fit. And we have to really trust ourselves over everything around us. There's so much noise, and again, the only way to trust ourselves is to know ourselves. Because if you are trying to decide if something's right for you and you don't know what your intuition sounds like, you don't know what you want out of life, you're following the shoulds, you're following what everyone else is doing, you're following what you think you should be doing, then how are you going to trust yourself in making a decision? Because it's not leading like where you truly, where your soul wants to go, where your soul comes alive. Like what are the things that bring you to life? What are the things that are your priorities? What are the things that, if I said like simplify your life, like what would you keep around? Who would you keep around? And so, again, in solving any problems you experience, in figuring out the next steps, in deciding if something is right for you, like the answer is always in knowing yourself. Like, how do you decide if something is fear or intuition? By knowing yourself. How do you decide how to make the right decision? By knowing yourself. How do you decide, like, how can I be more successful? By knowing yourself. How do I get happier? By knowing yourself. How do I, like, choose if I should do this or not? By knowing yourself. It all comes down to you. Again, like I said last week, no like guru, no expert, no millionaire, no other person, however perfect they may seem in whatever aspect of life you're looking to find answers on, no one can give you your path. You have to find it for yourself. And the way to simplify, the way to focus is to really know yourself on a deeper level. And the way to do that is to sit with yourself, is to start deciding, like, do I like this or do I like that? Do I want to eat this or do I want to eat that? Do I want to hang out with these people or not? Do I want to spend my time doing these things or not? And life is going to give you those opportunities to decide. You just have to listen to the voice within versus like what all the noise around you is telling you to do. And if you listen to yourself versus all the noise, it's going to be so easy to simplify, to not let things get too complicated, to not let yourself be pulled in 18 directions because maybe you don't even want to be in 12 of those directions. And then it just becomes so much more simple. And there aren't enough tools in this world that help us know ourselves. And this is something that I'm super passionate about. I'm working on in the background, like I mentioned last week. So watch this space. Get on my email list right now if this is something that you're like, oh my gosh, yes, I want to know myself better. I want to simplify my life. I want to be happier, more successful, all the things. And I feel lost. I feel like I'm overwhelmed. I feel like there's too much going on. It is coming. Um, Leo season is bringing big things for me, for you, for us, for this movement of your soul revolution, for the next phase of what I'm bringing and birthing into the world, which is why the last couple weeks have been a bit crunchy for me because I'm getting closer. I'm figuring out the last pieces. I'm putting it all together. but there aren't enough spaces, enough tools that help us get to know ourselves. Like, it's easier to hire someone. It's easier to look for an external validation. It's easier to just listen to the podcast, to do the next program, to get the next certification, to have another session with someone else than to like discipline yourself or sit in the discomfort and say, like, what is this teaching me about me? Like holding your own hand and starting the embodiment process, starting like applying it to life. Again, there's a difference between knowledge and wisdom. And so, what is the world trying to help you discover about yourself? And how can you, instead of looking outside, instead of asking the next person, the next coach, the next whatever, how can you say, no, you know what? Instead, I'm going to like say, what is this teaching me? What is the wisdom here that I'm ready to embody? What is my inner voice telling me right now? Like, I'm going to just quiet the noise. I'm going to take a break from Instagram. I'm going to unfollow some people. I'm going to stop scrolling. I'm going to stop looking for answers externally when I know that I have everything I need. And don't get me wrong, it's really fucking hard. Like, that's one of the things. That's why I'm bringing this podcast to you, Your Soul Revolution. It's about following your soul when the world is telling you to do everything but follow your soul. There's so much noise out there. Everyone's trying to sell you something. Everyone's trying to say, like, oh, you have this pain, you have this pain, you have this pain. We can fix it. We can help you. We can solve it. But first of all, there's nothing to fix. And second of all, these pains that you have are just there for you to determine the things you need to know about yourself, to determine the things you need to shift in life, to become more of yourself, to then get rid of these pains. You don't need to keep looking outside for answers. You have everything you need. You just need to slow down, look inwards, get to know yourself, get to love yourself. Again, even the hard times, like I said, the last couple of weeks are teaching you more about yourself, are teaching you more about what you don't want. It feels uncomfortable, but it's trying to help you. The discomfort is where the gold is. I keep saying this because it's true. In this uncomfortableness, we just want to escape it. We want to binge Netflix. We want to pay someone to tell us what to do. We want to look outwards. We want to avoid it. We want to numb in whatever way that looks like for you. But this is where the gold is. This is where the next step is. This is where the clarity is. This is where the creativity is. This is where the power is. This is where your soul is speaking to you, saying, this doesn't feel good because it's not for you. This feels hard because there's a better way. This feels meh because they're not your people. It's all giving you exactly what you're looking for, but you keep looking outside instead of listening to the messages that it's trying to deliver. Come back to keeping it simple. Turn off the world around you and just sit with yourself. It's not like this secret thing. Like, the answers are there. The wisdom is there. You just have to take 5 seconds and put down your fucking phone and sit there and listen to what's coming through. Again, it's not complicated. Don't overcomplicate it. It's simple. We have the guidance we need. We have the answers we need. We have everything within. We don't need anything else. Sure, we all have blind spots and we need other people. We need communities to show us these blind spots. But if you're paying attention in life, in interactions, in your relationships, in like your soul sisters, the people who are your safe spaces, like, you can get that. Again, the triggers in life are giving you the answers. They're showing you what's not for you. If you're trying to do something or take an action and it seems really hard, it seems like you're pushing, like, maybe there's a different way. Maybe you're not supposed to do it the same way everyone else is. You're supposed to do it your way. And how do you find your way? You get to know yourself. You listen to your own emotions. You listen to your own energy. You listen to what feels right, what makes your soul come alive, what makes you feel safe, who makes you feel comfortable, who makes you feel like you can shine and be more of yourself and doesn't hold you back and creates that space for you to be your biggest, boldest self. Those are the simple things that matter in life. Focus on the simple things. Again, one of my favorite quotes is, if you don't have time to do it right, when will you have time to do it over? If you think about this, like we're trying to find the next, like the pill, the quick fix, the answer, and we're looking everywhere else but ourselves, right? We're looking outside. But like, if you don't know yourself and you don't do it the way that's right for you, you're just going to end back up here like, oh, I guess maybe I'll do it my way now. But then like you've spent the time trying to force a way that doesn't feel right versus if you just sit and figure out what's right for me now, you won't have time, you won't have to do it over. Like take the time now to figure out what feels good for you, to feel like into what feels right for you. There's people like, there's millionaires starting over. There's people who seem very successful, like giving it all up because it just feels like they're forcing their way through life. There's people like who have to take 10 steps back and start over because they're out of alignment and they've realized like this is just blah. So if you don't have time to do it right, when are you going to have time to do it over? If you think it's taking too long or if you think it's the slow way, but build the foundation now, figure out what works for you and do it your way versus forcing yourself into a box versus trying to do it in a way that doesn't feel good. Don't follow the shoulds. Don't follow what everyone else is doing. Be the fucking rebel. Follow what makes you come alive. Decide what platforms you want to use. Decide how you want to use them. Decide what job feels good. Decide what people feel good to hang out with. Decide what types of things you want to spend your time doing. You have a unique path in this world. And by getting to know yourself, by following that, you will create everything that was meant for you. By following someone else's path, it will feel hard. It will feel icky. It will feel out of alignment. And that's not what we're here for. Again, this is your soul revolution. This is a movement. We are following our inner nudges. We are doing what makes us feel alive, and we are doing it in our fucking way. Turn off the noise. Come back to the simple things. Get to know yourself on a deeper level and follow yourself. Follow the nudges. Follow that inner voice. Follow what excites you or what feels good or what you're drawn to or what sounds like you or what feels like home. Whatever that is for you. And again, if this is like, fuck yes, I want more of this, join me every week here. These are the things I'm talking about. This is the movement I'm creating. You don't have to do it alone. Just because like I'm saying, listen to what's within doesn't mean you can't surround yourself with people who help you find that, who reflect back your magic, who help you re-find your center when you feel lost, who help lift you up when you forget. It doesn't mean you're in this alone. On the contrary, like this movement is about surrounding yourself with more of these people who get it, who see you for your brilliance, who encourage you to be weird, be silly, be a freak in your own unique way, be the rebel. That's what I'm here for. That's what we're here for. You're meant to thrive. You're meant to feel alive. Yes, we have crunchiness. Yes, we have days of crazy emotions that come up and take over, but you're meant to be satisfied, happy, alive, successful. You are meant for greatness. And if these things aren't showing up in your world, how can you listen to what your body's telling you? What the crunchy times are telling you? Where's the wisdom? Where's that knowledge that you have again that you just need to embody? That you need to say like, "Oh, I know movement like helps me get into a better place, so I'm deciding to do it every day." Versus like sitting on my phone first thing when I wake up. Like how can you listen deeper? What nudges, what things are there that you've been ignoring because you're like, oh, that's going to require change. Oh, that's too hard. Oh, no one's doing it that way. I can't, that doesn't make any sense. Listen, the answers are there for you. Simplify your life. Get to know yourself. This podcast will help you do it. The things I talk about, if you just listen and follow along and use the tools, again, keep what resonates and let go of everything else. The guests I have some, oh my God, epic podcast guests lined up for you guys. We are talking about all of this, how to be more you, how to know who you are, how to follow what lights you up. So just join in. Again, these episodes are short and sweet. You can listen to them anywhere. I'm here reflecting back your magic, showing you that your only purpose in this life is to be all of you fucking unapologetically. Express all of yourself. Do it in your way. Show up and follow what makes your soul come alive. I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening. It means so much to me that you're here. I love this space we're creating together, this movement we're creating together. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.